Welcome to Startup Recon.
Hey,
My name is my name is Nicola Guastella, and I'm here with the CEO of Proseed Asia, Mike Darnell. Mike, would you like to introduce yourself?
sure. Thank you so much for having me as your guest today, Nicolo, again. And I have to make a small amendment there. I'm not the CEO because Proseed is not a company. We are an association, and I have the privilege of being a co-founder. So in that respect, we are a bit different from maybe the run-of-the-mill companies that you have interviewing with you. I am the managing director of Vini, which is my digital agency and my day job, but Proseed Asia is a labor of love. So no CEOs here.
Okay, so yeah, tell me a little bit about Proseed Asia. How did it start? What is it all about? Give me a backstory.
So about 10 years ago, a little about 10 years ago, I came out to Thailand with my family and joined what was a nascent but rapidly ramping up tech scene, and started a digital agency with a Thai partner called Vini. And over the course of our 10 years or so doing business, we increasingly were approached by entrepreneurs that had various concepts for startup ideas. Some were, ideas that they'd seen elsewhere and wanted to adopt to the local market. Others were completely original concepts. And we found ourselves repeatedly supporting people or facing questions, I should say, which weren't really in the realm of UX, UI, and development, which is our area of expertise, but more things like legal, compliance, business plan. And so repeatedly, we found ourselves referring these individuals to a small group of friends and contacts that we've been in contact with and had, business relationships with, for this support. So, we have a lawyer, we have a branding expert, we have an accountant. And about 2.5 years ago, a good friend of mine, Anthony Cash, and myself, we had this idea of formalizing all of that into an association, which would serve as an accelerator. So basically, we took all the relationships that were referral-based relationships and said, okay, Mr. Lawyer, Mr. Accountant, Ms. Branding Expert, why don't you become mentors in our accelerator? We all contribute to the success of this organization, and we basically formalize what we've been doing anyway and make it more approachable to the entrepreneurs that need it. And that was 2.5 years ago. In the interim, we've done nearly 25 monthly events, supported somewhere in the realm of 70 startups that came and pitched, and had a lot of fun doing it as well. So it's all good.
Yeah. And how about nowadays? What does Proseed focus on nowadays?
Proseed Asia is transitioning now from an accelerator per se into more of a business networking organization. We acknowledge that innovation in this part of the world might be slightly different in terms of how we understand it from your typical Silicon Valley tech-based startup. To put things in perspective, when somebody comes to us with an idea on how to make granola bars out of cricket, or when somebody comes to us and wants to do a vegan lipstick, these are very, very good ideas with a lot of business acumen behind them, but they're not your typical tech startups, and the type of support that they need is different. And so to grow to meet the requirements of the market that we have over here, we're doing a course correction and continuing with our monthly events, and also adding an element of a weekly business networking meeting for local innovative businesses that are looking for a network of supporters, investors, contacts, even just somebody to lend an ear and give some advice. And that's working very well, especially now that people are facing so much hardship with COVID-19. it's really been well received.
Which is great to hear. And how many startups have you worked with and actually are currently working with, roughly?
Okay, so in the course of the 2.5 years that we've been having our events, we typically have at least 3 startups that participate in an event and do their 3-minute pitch. Of those, a few, let's say really a handful, have engaged further with members of the group and requested more support, probably somewhere in the range of, I'd say maybe 10, 15, for different types of help. So again, legal and compliance could be it, business plan could be it, access to investors could be it, marketing plans, strategy. Even we had a group that was interested in developing plastic flooring for courts and needed help with production, and we were able to support with that as well. So it's really been a mixed bag.
And I mean, you've been in Asia for quite a while now. So, what are the most surprising or interesting trends that you are seeing right now in the startup ecosystem in Southeast Asia, where you are?
I think what's exciting over here is that, to a certain extent, before there was a bit of a feeling that a lot of people were doing lookalike type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So people that had experience living abroad were exposed to some ideas and some concepts, and the innovation was at the level, well, oh, nobody's doing that back home. Well, I should bring that over and do it back home. I think that we've evolved now to a point where people are much more conscious of the unique opportunities that the target audience over here and the culture here offer, and the strength of the local economy, and are beginning to leverage that. So to put things, to give you a pragmatic example, Thailand might not be the best place to look for STEM-based skill. If you're looking for somebody who's a physicist or a mathematician, I don't know that I'd look over here. But if you're looking for somebody who's a food expert, this place would be a huge opportunity. If you're looking for somebody who's a design or animation or 3D maven, this place is a huge opportunity. And I think that's really beginning to shape how people are thinking about what they're doing in Thailand, definitely, and probably more in the region as well.
What would you recommend startups that are watching this video today that are in the early stages of trying to accelerate?
I mean, I've been in this industry for, call it say 20 years. And this sounds very unexciting, but it is the truth. And you're smiling because we had this conversation last time, right? And I made the mistake, right? I swear I've made the mistake of following the hype and going after the buzzwords and rapidly seeking to expand without having what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
But the fundamentals of a good startup are the fundamentals of a good business. If you haven't got a good product market fit, if you don't know who your target audience are at a very intimate level, if you don't have the names, emails, phone numbers, telegrams, WhatsApp of at least 50 people that are heavily invested in using your product, then you're doing it all wrong. And you should stop whatever you're doing and reach a point where you have that and where you're talking to these people and listening to them. It doesn't mean that you have to accept everything that they say. It's your product and it's your vision and you know where you're going. But, it's like if 3 of your mates tell you that you're drunk, maybe it's a good time to go home. And if you don't have mates, then maybe you shouldn't go out drinking, right?
Exactly. I love the analogy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, how about the future? What do you see in the future of Proseed Asia?
Well, I'd really be very satisfied to see our numbers growing for our weekly networking events. to a good 50 people showing up and extending our ability to provide just the mentorship and the guidance and the camaraderie,
Yeah.
help people see the silver lining in the clouds that are absolutely all around us. I'd like to see us maybe finding a way to virtualize at least some of the learning that we have and make that accessible to a larger audience, locally, globally. It's still very early days for this venture. And again, as an association, everybody that's doing this is doing this as a side gig, as a labor of love. Nobody's taking any money out of it. And that's part of the charm and the secret for making it work. People tell us that because it's completely non-commercial, nobody feels threatened, and nobody's looking out for, oh, well, why are they supporting me? We're supporting you because we believe that it makes the world a better place and it makes our lives nicer. I haven't got a better word for it. That's just it. It makes life more pleasant.
Cool. Well, that's a good note to end on. Thank you very much, Mike, for being with us today. Would you like to plug your website, Mike?
Please. Thank you so much for the invitation. So I'm going to plug the association's website, which is proseedasia.com. If you're an entrepreneur looking to come into Southeast Asia, or you have questions about anything, this is an open invitation to just ask us. And I personally will do my best to answer, and smarter people than me will listen in and do their best as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and we will put that link in the bio as well, so it's readily available.
Fantastic.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mike, for being with us today. Thank you to our viewers for watching our video. Please do not forget to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the interview. And yeah, we'll see you next time.